Hello and welcome to another coding session. How about that? I bet you didn't expect that shit to happen. Today we're doing the session live, as you can see, so there is a chat in there. So if you want your message to appear in one of these coding sessions, just, follow me on twitch.tv/coding and spam something in the chat and you'll be on YouTube. Isn't that amazing? I think that's goddamn amazing. My God. So today is Tuesday, and that means today, according to the schedule, we are supposed to be doing language development, I think, but who cares about the schedule these days, am I right? So today I decided to do the thing that I wanted to do on Monday, and that thing is web development. So today we're going to have Emote Jam stream. So Emote Jam is a very simple website where you can upload static images of the emotes, for example Gbaited, and apply one of the predefined filters. There's a lot of predefined filters in here, and then you can render this entire thing into a GIF, right? Then download that GIF and upload it to BTTV or some other third-party things, right? So any third-party things that accept GIF will work, right? So yeah, I'm gonna put the link to this website in the description. So let me actually get my description file. So it's gonna be Emote Jam. And furthermore, this entire website is completely open source. You can find the source code of the website in the GitHub. I'm going to put this thing in the description as well. Emote Jam source code, right? And in the repo, there is entire explanation of what it is and stuff like that. Okay, so here's the thing. I think the complexity of the project became quite high. So recently we introduced a very cool feature called parameters. I think you have to do it like params. So essentially now, on top of just applying predefined filters, you can also customize the filters. For instance, you can change the height at which emote is hopping. If you're using hop filter, you can scale an emote. You can define the jump height and also the amount of hops you can have. So yeah, as you can see, we have customization here. And when you render this entire thing, it will be rendered into the corresponding emote like that. So, and different filters may have different parameters, right? So to enable all of that, we had to actually add a lot of complexity. And all of that, by the way, without any React, right? So without any React at all. And I think the complexity of the project starts to cripple to the point when it may outweigh the cost of adding additional preprocessor that can type check and lint our project. All right, so, and that's why today I decided to make a big step and start migrating Emote Jam to TypeScript. Right. We're not gonna just do full-blown up Zoomer project where you have TypeScript, shit ton of preprocessors, Babel, Webpack, and like the complicated process. No. We're not gonna have any of this stuff. So we're gonna just add the dependency of the TypeScript, right? And we're gonna keep the output of the TypeScript in the repo itself to retain this just deploy the repo attitude, right? I still wanna just deploy the repo. And don't think about like mandatory build step and shit ton of dependencies. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, and I'm going to add complexity as needed. This kind of stuff may change in the future depending on the needs of the project, but right now project doesn't really need that much. The only thing it needs is static typing, right? It doesn't need bundling or any of this stuff, but we'll see how it goes. So that's pretty much the idea. So yeah, we've got a couple of subscriptions. Cyterdine, yeah, thank you so much for 3 months, and Fengchi, thank you so much for 2 years of tier 1 subscription. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. You're truly making my dream come true. It's like I'm saying that unironically, seriously, because my dream was rewriting JavaScript to TypeScript all day. And you're truly making it possible. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's get started, I suppose. Let's get started. I'm gonna go to the project and just open Emacs from within the project. Alrighty. So right now we have a JS folder. I suppose the first thing I want to do, actually, I want to turn this project into an npm project. Right, so we're going to just do npm init. And let's take a look. So the name of this thing is going to be Emote Jam. The version is going to be 1.0 description. I think I can steal the description from here. Simple website that generates animated BTTV emotes from static images, and so on and so forth. I'm not sure if I need to put a dot in here. I'm going to just remove it just in case. Entry point. It's kind of funny. It just found an entry, like a JS file in root, and assumed that it's going to be the entry point. The only reason why I put this file in the root is because this specific file expects gif.worker.js in the root. So if you open this entire thing, gif.worker.js, yeah, one more time. Yeah, it expects it in the root, so I cannot just copy paste this entire stuff to JS yet. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna say that the entry point is gonna be index.js. Test command, I don't think we're gonna test anything right now. Keywords, what kind of keywords can I have in there? BTTV, Twitch, and yeah, I don't know, emotes, emoji, Webgl, by the way, GIF, oh, I don't know, memes. Yeah, I think that's cool. Author, me, smiley face. Okay, I'm gonna actually be a little bit serious this time. So it's gonna be Alexey Kutepov, and you can find Alexey Kutepov at this email. Please don't spam this email. Thank you very much. Okay, so it actually automatically split everything by commas. I really like that. So is this okay? This is totally okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we probably need to install TypeScript. We need to install TypeScript, and we're going to install it as save dev. Right, there we go. That was easy enough. As far as I know, TypeScript has a config file, so we need to actually generate that config file. So it's going to be tsc init, and there you go. Here is your epic JSON file, which will look really horrible if you open it in Vim. This is because they're using comments inside of JSON file, right? And JSON, according to the specification, if you take a look at the JSON specification, JSON does not have any comments per specification. And that's why Vim goes crazy every time you try to open the JSON with the comments. Right, but one way to fix it, I suppose, is to switch to the file type JavaScript, and then it will work. Well, I do understand why they want you to have comments in this particular file. It's just like to make it self-documented. I don't know. I think like the lack of comments on JSON is such a controversial feature. So I don't even know what to think about it. So there's arguments for and against this kind of thing. And I don't know. I'm against JSON in general at all. So what we're going to have in here. So I suppose we're going to actually target ES5, right? We're going to target ES5 because we've got an issue asking for this thing to work in Internet Explorer 5. Not 5, 11. Well, we're not supporting Internet Explorer 5. Imagine actually trying to support Internet Explorer 5. How that would look like. My God, nothing will work there. Okay, so I'm not sure if we're gonna support Internet Explorer 11 100%, but at least we're gonna try, right? At least we're gonna try. As far as I know, to support Internet Explorer 11, you need to use ES5 standard, but the problem is EA11 itself does not implement ES5 fully. Right. So even if you target ES5, there is no guarantee that it's going to work in Internet Explorer 11. Like there's literally zero guarantee that it's going to work there because it doesn't even fully implement that standard. So I don't know. But the thing we're going to do, we're going to basically migrate to TypeScript. We're going to set the target to ES5, and then we're going to check if it works on Internet Explorer 11. Right. If it works there, cool. Fine, let it work there. If it doesn't work there, I'm not going to even bother, you know, improving anything, right? So I'm just going to set the target to, you know, ES5, and that's it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, whatever. So yeah, so modules, I'm not sure if we're going to use any modules. I want to keep the entire stuff simple, so I think I'm going to actually put none in here. So the way we're going to actually migrate to TypeScript is the following. So here is the folder that I have. This is the folder where I keep all the source code, and I have a bunch of JS files in here. So I'm gonna create a separate folder called TS there, and I'm gonna be slowly moving files one by one from JS to TS. Right. So for instance, first thing I want to migrate is evaluation, right? Maybe it would be easier to migrate filters. Yeah, it would be easier to migrate filters. And filters are basically the things that you can select in here, right? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to move filters to here, and we're going to rename it to TS, like that. Then I'm going to go to the configuration, and then I'm going to say that the root, the root directory is going to be TS, right? And the output directory has to be JS. And we're going to commit both TS and JS. So essentially the output of TSC is going to be part of the repo, as I already said, to retain that attitude of just deploy the repo, right? Just don't think about it, just grab the repo and deploy it there, right? So that means that every time you make a changes, you have to not forget to run TSC and also commit JS files. We're gonna keep it like that for now, and then in the future, maybe it's gonna change. So I'm gonna go that approach to actually migrate like slowly, right? So it's gonna be slow migration. So yeah, and because of that, maybe we can even run this sort of step on continuous integration just to check. Yeah, we definitely need to type check on continuous integration. All right, so this is what I'm going to do in here. And let me actually, so you want to write it? No, I don't want to write it. I should have not actually started to edit the file in both Emacs and Vim simultaneously. That was a bad idea. Anyway, so let me try to run node.js.bin tsc. Right, so this is going to be tsc. And is it going to work? Is it going to work now? Yo, I think it worked, actually. Holy fucking shit, mate. So if I introduce some problem, like some compilation errors in here, is it going to fail? I think it's going to fail. My God, it failed. I have a compilation step. I have a type checking and error checking and shit like that. I've been missing that. My God. All right, so that's actually pretty cool. As far as I know, you can even run it in sort of like a watch mode, right? So, and every time you sort of make any changes in here, it's gonna recompile everything. Right, it recompiles everything, and there we go. On top of that, I think it should add the filters to the JS folder. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, this is definitely generated by TypeScript because it edits strict, and also it uses var, right? Because we are targeting ES5. And on top of that, it got rid of the like backtick literals and concatenated everything. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. On top of that, as far as I know, I have a tied extension. So let me start this server. Oh no, this is actually the wrong one. So I have to open TS filters. Yeah, there we go. If I enable fly check mode and introduce some compilation errors, it will actually complain about them. And on top of that, I think it can autocomplete some things, right? So it can autocomplete. Yeah, there we go. So I can have autocompletion my Emacs. Can you Vim do that? Can you Vim do that? I don't think so. Your Vim, by the way, is even incapable of showing the comments in the JSON files. I mean, come on. What the fuck is this shit? Seriously? Fucking seriously, mate? Anyway. Well, JSON is not supposed to have comments in the first place, so... okay, so what's going to be the first thing we're going to do for our filter file? So first of all, I think I want to have an interface for the filters. Interface in TypeScript, by the way, is fucking amazing. Interfaces. Interfaces basically allow you to describe the shape of the objects, whatever is that supposed to mean. Right, so you not necessarily have to define classes or anything like that. You can just keep using like vanilla JS objects, but on top of that you can describe their shape, and the TypeScript will type check these shapes at compile time. This is absolutely genius feature. I absolutely love it. Right, so you can say that interface filter, right, interface filter is going to have what? Is going to have a transparent color, which is, we're using this as a number, so maybe I'm going to just keep it as a number. Then we're going to have a duration. We're going to have a duration, which is a string, and we're going to have a bunch of parameters, right? Which is by itself an object, actually an interface, right? An interface that is indexable, by the name, and returns a parameter which is going to be another interface which has specific fields. Some of them are optional. So you see, I'm basically not defining any classes, I'm describing the shape of the object. I might actually make some you know, mistakes here and there, but this is basically the idea of the interface. And I really like that. So let me take a look. So it interface, I think I have to do it like that. Oh yeah, so I don't have to put an interface in here. I can just say that, yeah, it's going to be an object, and there we go. So on top of this thing, and what's interesting is that the params for the filter is an optional field, so I can mark it as question mark, and yeah, so it may not be actually present in there. And since it may not be present in there, the compiler will force you to check it for null before trying to access it at compile time. So I think it's pretty cool. So on top of that, like, yeah, this is a single filter. Transparent, duration, parameters, and okay, and another one is the shaders. So we're gonna have a vertex, right, and the fragments. So these are the shaders that are used by the filter to generate this shit. Right, to generate this shit. So this is the website I'm developing, guys. Yeah, this is what I'm developing in here. I don't know what kind of bug it is, but at some point it just starts to go crazy, but yeah. So what else do we have here? We have a rain. Okay. Ragul subscribed for 9 months of Twitch Prime subscription. We're back. Meet you behind the bike shed. Thank you so much. I absolutely love bike sheds. So what do you guys think? What is better, tabs or spaces? Please answer honestly. It is very important. We really need to get to the truth. Which one is better? Tabs or spaces? Okay, let's continue development. So here we have a filter, and in here I think I can quite easily, yeah, for the parameters we need to actually specify what we're gonna have in here. So as you can see, we have a label, right? So here's the label, which is a string, right? The next thing, we're gonna have a type, and here, oh shit, it's already taken. Why all of the languages this day are taking away my beautiful type? Okay, so TypeScript type keyword as field, because I'm pretty sure, yeah. So how do you handle that? There should be a way to fucking handle that. There must be a way to handle that. So it uses type aliases. Okay. Type keyword in interface. Type interface. You know what? I can actually call it something different. I can probably call it something different and then go through the compilation errors or something like that. Maybe you can do something like this. No, you cannot do that because it's already reserved for string interpolation. Key off. Okay, chat says it's something like key off. Let me Google up. Not off. Key off type operator. Okay. So the key of operator takes an object type and produces a string numeric literal union of its key. Wait, what? Key of... Ah, I see. It extracts this type out of here. This is actually quite bad. TypeScript type as interface keys. Okay, so yeah. Get keys of interface array of strings. Oh, maybe, okay, so maybe I didn't have to worry about that. So it doesn't even complain. It's a problem of Emacs mode. Yeah, Emacs mode highlights this thing. It highlights this thing, and that's why I think that you cannot use this keyword in here. But in reality, it doesn't even complain about anything. There is no error in here, so you can just use type in here. So the parser is smart enough to realize that in this particular... Okay, that's totally fine. All right, so we're gonna have init, and then we're gonna have a number. Right, and we're gonna have a min. I'm not sure if min and max are like optional or not, so but I'm gonna actually make them optional. Min, max, and step are gonna be optional for now. Do we have anything else? I don't think so, actually. That should be it. So other params, let me take a look. Okay, so label is definitely optional, right? Label is definitely optional. Type is not optional. Initial value is not optional. Everything else is optional. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now I can say that filters is basically something that is indexable by a name and produces the filter, and that entire thing should automatically type check everything. And I think it type checks, but not really. So there is an error in here, and I'm not sure what. Params is missing in the type. Oh, okay. So that's kind of cool. So it says that params is in fact optional. Okay. Do we have any other errors in here? Might as well actually do Node.js .bin tscw. Okay. So there is still some errors in here. Transparent must be a number. Oh, okay. It could be also null. Okay, transparent could be either a number or null. And you know how do you describe that in TypeScript? You just say number or null. There we go. So that's pretty cool. And then when you try to use transparent, the compiler will force you first to check whether it's null or not. Right, so let's take a look. And this entire thing compiles. Okay, so we put some types on top of the filters. Now we have a filter type. And this entire thing, almost 1,000 lines of code, actually type checks perfectly according to this scheme. So that's pretty convenient. So that is pretty convenient. Okay, so let's take a look at what got generated. So we have filters, and this is what we got generated. Yeah, so it basically got compiled down to the ES5. One thing I want to check now is, does it still work? Does it still work? So let's do something like Python m, actually Python 3. Maybe I have to do something like this. Python 3m http server 6969. There we go, 6969. And let's open this thing in here. Does it still work? Still works, right? And as far as I know, it should use the latest filters. So if we take a look at the source, right? So there's not really src, but let's take a look at JS. Here's the filters, and filters are compiled down to ES5. Okay, and perfectly type checked and everything. Okay, I really like that. So okay, so let's actually do a committee. Let's actually do a committee, and maybe even a pushy. So should we commit node_modules, guys? Should we commit it? I usually always commit it just in case, but do you guys commit it? Cheers, by the way. So let's put all of that into git ignore. Not modules underscore. What else do we have in here? Yeah, and one of the things here is that we're always going to commit the output of TSC. All right, so TypeScript, there we go. So here's the TS config. So do I need to enable anything? I think everything that needs to be enabled is already enabled. So I don't think I need to enable too much. One of the things we'll probably have to enable is libraries. So we'll definitely have to enable like DOM libraries. Otherwise, we won't be able to won't be able to even use them. There we go. Migrate Filters JS to TypeScript. There we go, and I'm going to push that right into the repo. Look at that. Look at that. So we migrated the first file. And this is already starts to feel pretty cool because I finally can describe the shape of the filters. I've been sort of like keeping the shape of the filters in my head for a very long time, and every time it breaks, it was actually kind of difficult to deal with. But that was fine when I only started the project, right? So as the project grew in complexity, now it starts to become a problem. Unfortunately. Okay, so what's going to be the next file that we want to migrate? So we have a very interesting module in here, boys and girls. We have a very interesting module. We have eval.js. You know what this module does? It actually evaluates JavaScript expressions. Actually mathematical expressions. So let me show you. Essentially, you can do something like this. Imagine that you have an expression, something like 1 plus 2 multiplied by 3, right? Something like this. And then I can call a function compile expression, right? I can compile the entire expression like this. And then I have a special function that runs the expression and run the expression. There we go. If I try to execute this entire thing, look what's going to happen. This is not how we execute it. Yeah, it computed to 7, right? So you could probably achieve the same thing with eval, but here's the interesting thing. There's no a single eval in this entire file. There's no single eval. This entire thing implemented completely from scratch, right? And the reason is to achieve the sandboxing. So here's the thing, we need to use this thing in the filters. So filters have a special field called duration, right? And duration is basically computed based on the parameters, and parameters are defined by the user. So we need to enable the filter creators to put mathematical formulas in there to compute the duration of the computation of the emote. Right. The easiest way to do that would be to just use eval. But here's the thing. It's a security threat, right? So you have to properly sandbox it. And on top of that, you don't need the whole JavaScript in here because you just need mathematical formulas, right? This thing just needs a mathematical formula from the parameters to amount of seconds that you need to render for that specific filter, and using the whole JavaScript just to compute the amount of seconds will be a complete overkill, right? And on top of that is going to be like a security threat. So because of that, I just implemented a very simple custom eval that supports a small subset of JavaScript, and it took 200 lines of code. Right. So in 200 lines of code, I implemented very simple like expression evaluation, and now you can actually put it in here, and don't worry that somebody will craft a malicious filter that will steal all of your cookies. You don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. So that's actually pretty convenient. So you can actually, I streamed the entire process of me creating this evaluator, and you can find the recording of that stream on my YouTube channel. So it's called Sorting Daily, right? So just search for Sorting Daily, and here it is. So, and the recording, I think it's called, yeah, reimplementing JavaScript in JavaScript for safer eval, right? So this is the recording. So, and yeah, this is my face every time I try to re-implement JavaScript in JavaScript. So, and I'm gonna of course put this entire thing in the description. All right, so it's gonna be something like this. Re-implementing JavaScript in JavaScript for safer eval. Just put it into your bookmarks if you want to watch about it like later. It was actually pretty interesting. It was actually pretty interesting. Same shirt. Yeah, I have 3 red t-shirts. Don't judge me. I changed them, I swear. I swear I changed them. So, yeah. I'm basically slowly turning into a Tom Scott. Essentially, a Russian Tom Scott. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Let me take a look at this entire stuff. And now I want to actually migrate this entire thing into the TypeScript. So into the TypeScript. So let's go ahead and do that. You know what? I think I want to make a small break just to refill my water and stuff like that. So yeah. All right, so let's quickly do that. I'm going to just copy paste, simply copy paste, the main software development technique, eval to the TS folder, and I'm going to switch to TS. There we go. And I wonder how many compilation errors. There we go. Here are the compilation errors. Nice. I absolutely love that. So I didn't even add anything TypeScript specific, and I already have a compilation error. It's absolutely beautiful. So so I think I need to enable fly check mode. There we go. So what's the main problem in here? The main problem in here is that LHS implicitly has any type. Okay, this one is interesting. So this is a table of binary operations, right? It's a table of binary operations, and basically what it maps the binary operation to its action, right? Binary operation, its action. Pretty straightforward. So maybe we're going to actually introduce some sort of enumeration for binary OP, right? And it's going to be basically one of these things. So it's going to be plus, or minus, or multiplication, or division, or mod. There we go. So, and here what we're mapping, essentially, we're mapping the OP, right, which is binary OP. I hope it's gonna work. And we're mapping it to a function, that is, I wonder if I can, yeah, a function that accepts a number, right? One number, the second number, and returns the third number. Right, something like this. So what does it say? An index signature parameter type cannot be a unit. Really? Consider using a mapped object type instead. Mapped object type. I never heard of it, by the way. TypeScript mapped object type. Mapped types. So yeah. Type object. Ooh, this looks juicy. Juicy Lucy. Okay, so maybe that's precisely what I can do in here. So that means I want to have something like type binary OP table, right? So it's going to be binary OP table, and this thing is essentially, well, I mean, in key of. A map type is a generic type which uses a union of property keys, frequently created via key of to iterate through the keys of the created. Okay. But does it have to be generic specifically? Does it really have to be generic specifically? Type parameter property. So, all right, I'm not quite familiar with this kind of thing, but can I do that in line? It will be better to actually not do that in line. So let's do something like this. Don't quite understand. I don't quite understand why does it have to be property and where property comes from. I'm gonna just try to, you know, believe it. In key of it has to be like this, binary OP, right? So here is the binary OP, and this thing should return the function like that. Okay, if I save this entire thing, at least it doesn't complain about anything, right? At least it doesn't complain. And now if I put something like binary OP table, right? Binary OP table, will it actually do things? All right, so type plus LHS, oh my god, is not assignable to type binary OP table. Okay, I think we're gonna try to keep it simple for now. We're gonna try to keep it simple. Can I just say any? Can I just say any to simplify the situation? This one is going to be a number, and this one is going to be a number. There we go. Right, and it still doesn't, yeah, doesn't do anything in here. All right, so maybe I'm going to actually leave it as it is for now, and this one is going to be just, yeah, okay, whatever. I will get back to this thing a little bit later. Now, the next problem we have in here is also Ownery Operators. So it's basically similar to binary operators, except right, they accept only one argument, and in here we have to make sure that this is a number. So the next thing in here is that we don't know what type of this thing is. So the lexer, by the way, who knows what is a lexer? Lexer essentially just takes things like this, right, and returns you a list of lexems, right? A list of lexems in this particular case is going to be 1 plus 2 multiplication and 3. So you may think that it simply splits them by space, but it will return the same output even if you remove spaces in here. So it basically identifies the edges of these lexems, right? So that's basically what it is. And this is a class that allows you to put a source code in there, and then by calling next you can just pull out the lexems from there. All right, so this entire thing is going to accept a string, and most importantly, we never defined this variable in here, so let's actually quickly define it. So it's going to be src string. There we go. So a next basically puts the token back into the lexer, right? It puts it back into the lexer, and the token in this case is a string. Right, okay, and it seems to be good. Property trim star does not exist in a string. Oh my god, okay. Oh, so what we need to do in here is, I think, we need to increase the, yeah, we need to add the library in here. So as far as I know, it is located in ES 2019. Will that work now? Does it automatically recompile or anything? I don't know. So I added it to the lib. Maybe I need to actually restart the server. So it's definitely something with my Emacs. So let's see. I'm gonna enable fly check one more time, and okay. So this is a string. Okay, so it actually fixed the problem. So trim star is not a problem anymore. So this thing is probably also going to be a string. Do we need anything else? Okay, so here we have a function that, given the lexer, should return an expression. Okay, so now we need to actually introduce pretty cool stuff. We need to define what is an expression, right? We need to define what is an expression. So first of all, I need to define the kinds of the expression, right? Expression kind. So the first expression kind, we have a lot of different kinds of expressions, right? So here's the kind, Ownery operator, binary operator, function call, symbol, and so on and so forth. So we need to define them all. So this is going to be Ownery operator, binary, binary operator. What's going to be the next thing? The next thing is going to be function call, right? So this is a function call, not function, but fun call. Then a symbol, and I think that's it, right? I think that's it. If I remember correctly, we don't have anything else in here, right? A symbol and so on and so forth. Okay, so and then we're going to have an interface, which is an expression, which is going to have its own kind, which is the expression kind, right? So this is the expression kind. And then we need to probably introduce separate interfaces for different kinds of expressions. For different kinds of expressions, we need to have something like interface for Ownery OP expression. Maybe I don't even have to call it expression. I can just call it like this, an interface. Then binary OP, then fun call, and then symbol. And symbol is already taken in JavaScript, as far as I know. In JavaScript, symbol is already taken, so we can just easily use that. So it's a built-in object whose constructor returns a symbol. So it's like, I think it's kind of similar to symbols maybe in Lisps and stuff like that, but I'm not really sure what people use it for, and I don't really care, to be fair. Okay, so maybe because of that, we're going to prefix all of these things with expression, right? So we're going to prefix all of that with an expression. And in here, we're going to just have an expression, which is basically either that, or that, or that, or that, or... Yo. Aaron Cornaz 2000. Hey, long time no see. How's everyone? I'm fine. Thank you so much for 6 months of tier 1 subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're gonna have this kind of thing, and Ownery operator, right, is gonna be a thing that basically contains an operator, right? So it's gonna be a string. But to be fair, we already kind of have kinds of binary operators, so maybe I'm going to actually introduce Ownery OP, which is going to be minus for now, but in the future we're going to have more of these things. And here we're going to have Ownery OP. And then we're going to have an operand, right? We're going to have an operand. An operand itself has to be an expression. You see, it becomes self-referential, right? Becomes self-referential. Expression refers to Ownery operator expression, and this one refers back to this. So we are starting to have like a tree of expressions. Tree of expressions. You know what I'm talking about? Like tree. Do you guys know how to invert a binary tree? You know? If you know how to invert a binary tree, you can work at Google. Did you know that? Just by knowing how to do that one specific single thing, you can become a Googler. Not just Googler, but actually tech lead in Google. You just need to learn how to do that. I know how to do that, and I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, so here we have a binary OP expression, and here we're going to have OP, binary OP. So then we're going to have things like LHS, left-hand side expression, and it's going to be just expression. And then right-hand side expression, comrades. So fun call. All right, function call is going to have the name, which is basically a string, and the I think the arguments. And the arguments are essentially the array of... Is it going to be, should we describe it as an array or as something indicible? I don't quite remember. I think I'm going to say it's an array. Yeah, it's going to be an array of expression, right? It's going to be a little bit easier to work with. Symbol. Speaking of symbols, I think symbols just have their value, which is a string. Yeah. Symbols just have their value. So this is going to be value, and this is going to be a string. So there we go. We defined the types for the whole AST. Okay, so here's the primary expression, and this thing should return an expression. There we go. Cool. Now we need to go through all of these places. So if we return an expression, kind has to be one of these things, and the expression, it has to be exper. OP, operand, like this. Is it OP? Type string is not... Oh, shit. Can I just say, well, I already know Ooh, this one is interesting actually. So we take the, yeah. Can I assert? Oh, it even highlights the assert. Cannot, oh, well, I mean, because it cannot find it couldn't find the assert. I mean, the Emacs highlights the assert, but yeah. We can do console assert, and I'm gonna say that the operand, actually, the token is, oh shit, look at that. It's available in binary OPs. Ooh. I'm just thinking, how can I tell the compiler that token is Ownery OP, but not by, you know, casting it. Like, I don't want to cast it. I could do that, but I don't want to do that. So I want to be able to just check at runtime, is token one of these things? TypeScript check if string is enum. Check if file exists in, yeah, this is what I want to do. Okay. No. Is this even, it's a JavaScript, but I'm talking about, well, I mean, it's kind of strange. How to check if a given string key exists in, well, it's not even enum, right? TypeScript enums are something different, right? So they are enums. They're just like, oh, okay. So what is this bar thingy called? How do you call these kind of types? I thought they're called enumerations or something. How do you call these things? How do you call them? Do they have any name? I don't think they have any name. Well, I cannot see it right away. So the thing is, okay, I want to be able to check if token is Ownery OP, right? And then inside of this condition, token is automatically considered to be binary OP, and I don't have to do anything in here, you know. So is Ownery OP, and I just don't have to do the thing like that. How can I do that in TypeScript in a convenient way? I don't think you can, because the types only exist during the compile time. I don't see any technical problem for the compiler to generate a code that just checks that token is one of the strings. It can even basically generate a bunch of conditions, checking each individual string and concatenate them with OR. Maybe it is enough. No, it is not enough, because you cannot just check that. Only refers to a type, but yeah. This is truly such. This is truly such. Unions in, oh, they're called unions. Right. So TypeScript union. Let me see. TypeScript unions and intersections and unions. Okay, so that's basically what they are. To padding. Union type for the padding. Okay, so they're called unions. All right. So now I can try to Google that. TypeScript check if string is part of union. Is there a way to check if a string is included in the union type? Okay, is there anything? Okay. Type foo will not be compiled into the generated JavaScript. It can only be realized in an elegant way. As one option, use an array with the specified strings or get this field through enumeration. Okay. All right, so they don't want to do it like that. Okay, that's totally fine. One of the things I can, yeah. So I already have the list that contains all of them. OP, and then I can just say token as Ownery OP. There we go. So one of the things I can probably do in here is go to this thing and just make sure that the table itself is only indexed by these things. And that way, I can reliably say if the token is located in this table, that means it's probably of the type of Ownery AP, and I can just easily cast it. So I think that's going to be the idea in here. Yeah. All right, so what's going to be the next error? Okay, so what does it say? Variable args implicitly has type any. All right, so as far as I know, argument has to be of the type of array expressions, right? Of array expressions. Any other errors in here? Okay, so fun call. Expression like this, right? Expression like this, and there we go. So this is going to be the name token, and then args. Okay, next one. Next token. So what does it say in here? Argument of type string null is not assignable to... Oh shit, this is actually kind of cool. This is the problem that I actually encountered when I was developing this entire thing. Yeah, so some of the things may return null, and because of that I had problems that could have been catched by a compiler. All right, so next. So did I actually say next? Oh shit. Okay, I think I need to explicitly say that next may return either string or null, but it actually inferred it automatically. But I rather prefer to explicitly say the types, so they don't change all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of automatic inference of everything. I programmed fairly complex applications in Haskell where everything is automatically inferred, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a pain in the ass, because if you rely too much on the type inference, you're gonna end up with a huge code base where you make changes in one place and it starts failing on the other end of the source code, which is completely unrelated to the thing that you're changing in here. And it's such a pain in the ass to debug, like holy fucking shit. And what you end up doing is that you end up putting the type hints like everywhere, so the compiler fails closer to the place you're working with. So type inference is helpful inside of the bodies of the functions, right? But outside of the interfaces, it becomes kind of like messy and very difficult to work with. So there should be good balance between type inference and explicit typing. So yeah. Again, if you actually have to put types explicitly everywhere, it also becomes messy because you basically do a lot of unnecessary typing, right? So when it comes to type inference, the balance is actually crucial in my opinion. So yeah, that's just my take on type inference. No. Anyway, so what's going to be the next problem? What's funny is that here I already checked. Oh, but I didn't check it in here. So this thing returns a token. We checked that it's equal to this one, so I don't have to check it again. Then I reassign it back to here, and I already checked it that it's not equal to null, but still I have to check it in here. Argument of type string. Huh. This is very, very interesting. So checking this thing like that didn't automatically change the type. Oh, I see why. I see why I didn't change the type. Because the type was inferred here, right? Interesting. What if I put let in here? Will it work? What if I put constant here? All right, so you cannot reassign this entire thing. Okay, but if I try to shadow this entire thing, it still needs to be checked. Is not assignable to string. The null is not assignable. I see. Yeah, that is really, really strange. So one of the things we can try to do in here is probably maybe like put if all of that into the else branch. Oh, I see what the fuck is going on in here. I see. Because it's exactly okay. So I'm getting tired, right? It's exactly the else branch. So we know for a fact that here it is not null, but here it could be null because it's an else branch. Okay, I can see that. It's just like I'm becoming a little bit tired. So so what's gonna happen if we reach null in here? I suppose. That means we have a compilation error, by the way. If we reached a null, yeah, so, okay, the TypeScript actually found a bug. Look at that, it found a bug. I didn't check the case when this entire thing is equal to null. Right, so essentially if, after this entire stuff, we reached a null, we might as well actually, yeah, we should probably throw an error, right? We should probably throw an error of some sort. It's going to be error, unexpected end of file, end of input, I suppose. That's one of the things we can have. All right, it actually literally found the bug. I really like that. Okay, so this is a fun call, and then we're going to have an expression, and in this expression we're going to have a name. So this is a kind symbol, and this is an expression. This is the value. There we go. Do we have anything else? I think we're done with this function. We're pretty much done with it. So that means we successfully implemented primary parsing. That was fun, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so now the function that just parses the expressions with binary operators and whatnot. So we're gonna accept the lexa and we're gonna return the expression. So what do we have in here? This one has to be an expression, right? And here we're gonna be returning something like this. And of course, OP token is not happy because we probably have to cast it. It's not assignable to oh yeah, so, and as you can see, we checked that it's in binary operation, so that means I can do something like binary OP in here, and there we go. All right, so now we need to compile the source code. We accept string, and console couldn't find. Oh yeah, I remember this one, actually. I do in fact remember this one. So for some reason, console is located in DOM. I don't know how that makes any sense, but you need to add DOM in here. Because, I mean, Node.js, as far as I know, doesn't have any DOM. And, like, how is that even related to DOM? Like, being able to print to console. Does anyone know? It's just like, how is that DOM related? But, I don't know. It's kind of strange, not gonna lie, kind of sus. Okay, so fly check. Oh right, wait a fucking second, is that it? Oh, because I actually opened the wrong thing, I'm sorry. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, so now this entire thing compiles. So we have console log, right? So, and it seems to be compiling properly. All right, so now we are running expression and we need to accept the expression. And as far as I know, result should return a number. Okay, and user context is rather interesting. I think we need a special interface for the user context. User context. User context. Basically, what you can do with this thing, you can use variables in here, right? So you can use variables, but then to actually execute this entire thing, you will have to define variables like this. It's going to be vars, right? And for instance, x is going to be 69, right? So, and this is basically what it means, you know, for this thing to be user context. You can define your variables and you can also define your functions, right? So something like this, and the function could be something like f, and it may accept like x and just adds 1 in here, and then you'll be able to call this function in here. All right. So that's basically what I'm trying to do in here. Okay, so this is A. Any other compilation errors? Yeah, I wanted to define the user context. So this is going to be vars, and the vars is essentially a thing that is indexed by a string and returns a number. I think that's how you would define it. What about the functions? A function is a thing that is indexed by a name and returns you another thing that is... Yeah, it returns you a variadic function, actually. It has to be a variadic function. So the question is, how can we define a variadic function in here? So TypeScript variadic functions. Types for variadic functions. Okay. Oh, all right. Makes sense. So that means it's... I also need to know how you describe a function type. Function type. More on functions. So it's... Okay, it's a fan. Oh, I see how you do that. All right. So it has to be a function that accepts access, which is array of numbers, like that, and returns you a number. There we go. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. And the user contact, oh, by the way, this entire thing is optional, right? So you may not have any of these things. Now we accept a user context, right? So this is a user context, and everything seems to be compiling. Everything seems to be compiling. All right, so we are iterating through, basically switching upon kinds of expressions, and this break is unnecessary. Yeah. So because we always return from here. Value. Oh, okay. So expression symbol. The problem is that I think this thing is called expression. Yeah, this is kind of sus. So yeah, so you have an expression, and to get it as an expression, you have to do expression. We need to rename this thing somehow. I think I want to rename it after a small break, so let me quickly do a break and we're going to continue. All right, so let's take a look at what we need to do in here. So I was thinking that I need to rename expression to something else, right? Maybe it's going to be called like value, right? You have a kind, and then you have a value, and then you also have a value inside of a symbol expressions and stuff like that. It's kind of sus. So maybe I'm gonna actually call it unwrap. Oh, you know, it's a web application. In web, you're supposed to call it payload. Yeah, we're gonna call it payload. Yes, perfect, fucking perfect. Yeah, this one has to be called payload now, right? Payload. And I have to call it payload like everywhere. Well, luckily, actually, TypeScript tells me where I have to do all of that shit, so it's kind of cool. Payload. Okay, payload value. There we go. So what else do we have in here? So this is OP. Oh yeah, you have to do it like this. Wait, it still complains about this shit. Property value does not exist on Ownery. Ooh, shit. Oh, you need to cast it. Yeah, we need. Why don't we have autocasting like in TypeScript? TypeScript autocasting. Is there like TypeScript autocasting? Dynamic typecasting. Okay. Yeah, you can do it like that, but you know what I mean? Like in Kotlin, autocasting is actually like a lifesaver. Like holy shit, I absolutely love it. How do you do that in TypeScript? Right, so you just check that something is of a particular type, right, and then it's automatically casted and you don't have to use that. Really sage times, Anyway, so what we have to do in here, maybe Yeah, maybe I can actually do something like const symbol, right? And then I can take the payload as symbol expression, right? So here's symbol expression, and then I take the symbol value, right? Symbol value. Seems to be compiling. Okay, and I have to do that in each and individual branch, right? I have to do that in each and individual branch. So it's going to be Ownery OP, and it's going to be expression payload as Ownery OP expression, right? Ownery OP expression. So then I don't really need to check that OP is part of Ownery OPs, because it's already automatically type checked, right? So I'm pretty sure if I take a look at the Ownery OP expression, right? Yeah, it's already automatically checked. It's kind of like pointless to do that. Yeah. Ownery OP. Yeah, and this one is going to be Ownery OP. All right. Ownery OP operand. Okay, cool. Everything compiles, and as you know, if it compiles, it works. Epic, absolutely fucking epic. Binary OP expression payload as binary OP expression. There we go. As binary OP expression, and in here is going to be binary OP in binary OPs. There we go, and binary OP LHS, so this is the left hand side, and binary OP right hand side. There we go. So, and this break is absolutely redundant. Thank you very much, TypeScript. Fun call. All right, so let's do something like fun call expression payload as fun call expression. There we go. And this one is going to be fun call name. This one is going to be fun call name. Fun call args, and we have to map the args and we have to apply them accordingly, so everything looks okay in here. And I think we're done with this function. I think we're kind of done, except for the places of error reporting. So in here we also have to do something like this. So this one is going to be Ownery OP. The next one is going to be binary OP, right? And the next one in here is going to be fun call name, and I think that is it. All right, and we're almost done. So this one has to be called funcs, and we ported the entire fucking file, right? We ported the entire file to the TypeScript. Almost. I still haven't figured out how to, you know, integrate these types and this table yet, but overall, this thing type checks, right? And if I try to run not eval.js, it is not going to work. I wonder why, because cannot find module. Yeah, so I probably have to do something like this. It's going to be JS, and there we go. So it actually evaluated correctly. Let's take a look at what it's supposed to evaluate. So it takes x, which is equal to 69, right? It takes x that is equal to 69. Then it applies f, which adds 1, right? So then you have 70. Then you multiply it by 3, 70. It's 210, and you add 210 to 1, you get 211. All right, so everything worked correctly, and everything is perfectly type checked. All right, that is actually pretty cool. So I feel a little bit more safe with types and shit. Now I need to figure out how to make a type that maps binary OP, like this enumeration, to you know, binary OP function. I might as well actually, you know, do something like type binary OP func, which is going to be essentially this function, right? So it's supposed to return a number, right? So this is going to be a number. And now here, at least I can say that this thing is taking string and returns binary OP func. OP func. No, you don't like that? You really don't like that? Implicit has a type any type. Okay, so how do I describe the type? So I need to take a look at the user context, because in the user context I described this thing. Okay, so it didn't really work properly. I don't. Oh yeah, it's Yeah, I'm sorry. And I wonder if because of that, I can get rid of this thing in here. Can I just get rid of this thing in here? I can. Okay, so it's a little bit better. But the problem with the TypeScript in here is that I just cannot put binary OP in here. I just cannot, because it's like, yeah, it has to be a very specific string. So it has to be something like key of binary OP, and I don't understand the point of key of in key of. And okay, it kind of doesn't complain, but it's still, yeah, it has to be a string, unfortunately, at least for now. Still didn't fully figure out. So maybe we're also gonna have Ownery OP func, which accepts the arg, which is the number, and returns the number. And at least here we can say that this thing accepts OP, and then Ownery OP func. There we go. All right, and everything seems to be type checking. And by the way, we forgot a very important thing. We forgot to even check if it works. So first of all, I want to see what it compiled down to, right? What it compiled down to. It compiled down to just a regular JavaScript that can potentially work in Internet Explorer 11. So we're trying to support Internet Explorer 11 because it's a very important browser of the internet infrastructure, and it's very important to support it. Anyway, cheers. So, and let's just try to run it in the browser and see how it goes. Okay, so everything seems to be all right. Here is the filter, and let's try to render the entire thing. Everything seems to be working fine. All right, I'm actually super happy. So everything seems to be working fine, and maybe I'm gonna do a committee, and maybe even pushy. There we go. Migrate eval JS to TypeScript. There we go, and I'm gonna push that right into the repo, mate. Right into the repo. So I have an idea. I have an idea on how to figure out to make this thing indexable by a union. I'm going to try to do something like this. Right, so this fails, and an index signature parameter cannot be of type union. Okay, I'm pretty sure people have discussed that multiple times on the internet. So my idea is going to be the following. We're going to just grab this entire error message, and I'm going to put it into the Google, because I'm pretty sure it was discussed so many times. No one wants to listen to this complaining anymore. So I'm going to just literally take this thing and see what people are saying about this kind of thing. So instantly Stack Overflow. How do you even fucking do that? Okay, I'm trying to use following pattern. So mapped object instead. Okay. Type key in options. You can use TS. Okay, but they're using enumerations and we are using unions, right? I'm not sure if it will work. Cannot be of a union type, but maybe it will work, right? OP. What did they say? What did they say? Note that key in. Key in. Holy shit, it worked. The fuck? Fucking worked. And you know what's cool? I think now, if I try to put something like foo in here, it's not gonna compile. That's precisely what I was trying to achieve. If you put some sort of foo in here, which is not part of the binary OP in the first place, please fucking fail. That's what I was trying to achieve. All right. Oh my God, this is perfect. Okay. Does it really have to be key? Can it just do OP in binary OP? Okay, that looks fine, and I don't see any compilation errors in here, at least for now. And I want to do a similar thing in here. So this is going to be OP in. Ownery OP. There we go. And that way you can be sure that everything's okay. That way you can be sure that everything's okay, mate. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's do a committee, and maybe even a pushy if we're lucky enough. Index binary OPs and Ownery OPs tables by their respective kinds. All right, and we're gonna push that right into the repo. Oh boy, I really want to make a smoke break. So we ported effectively 2 files, right? So eval and filters are now generated from TypeScript, and these 2 things, evals and filters, are automatically regenerated. Right, so what's going to be the next thing that we need to port? We need to port our UI framework. Yes. By the way, our website in here is using custom front-end framework, believe it or not. It is using custom front-end framework, and that framework is called Grecha.js. You can check it out in here. I'm going to put it in the description. Just a second. So it's going to be description, Grecha.js front-end framework. So you want to see what it's capable of. Here is an example, right? So yeah, it's interactive and shit like that, and you have a couple of pages in here. Here's the thing. This is a single page application with no backend. So if I switch to a different page, there's a special router that routes to a different page. So basically pages are like DOM subtrees, and we switch between them depending on what you click. Right, and you want to see how much code this example takes. Here it is. This is the entire thing. So instead of using like GSX approach, we have a bunch of functions that let you describe the DOM like that, which is actually a little bit more concise than GSX. And the entire framework, believe it or not, you want to see the size of the entire framework. Here it is. 69 lines of code. Nice. That's a nice framework, seriously. So it's a very simple framework that just creates tags, and that's it. And it also has its own router and shit like that. So yeah, check it out. By the way, we actually developed this thing on the stream as well. Yeah, we developed this thing on the stream as well. And if you want to see me developing this entire thing and designing this framework, because I mean, anyone can type 69 lines of code, okay? It's all about the design, right? So whether a car is good or not is not determined by the amount of details, the amount of parts in the car, right? You know what I'm talking about? Right. If the car has a lot of parts, it might not necessarily be a good car, right? So you want to design the car so it requires fewer parts and does more with fewer parts. So the whole process was actually refining this framework, getting to the essence of UI. And the essence of UI is 69 lines of code. Anyway, so just go for the Tsoding daily channel, and I think there is a word in there. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. My own JavaScript framework, Grecha.js. Yeah. So here is the video where we designed all of that. And I'm gonna put it in here. Grecha.js development session. There we go. So the session is going to be available in here. So, and the next thing that we're gonna do is basically Typescriptifying the entire framework, right? So even though the framework is very small, it's not very safe, right? It's not very type safe. So what we need to do now, we need to put types on top of this thing. And we're gonna do that after a small break. All right, so we're gonna do our usual procedure of simply copy pasting this file from GS folder to TS folder and see how it goes. So I'm gonna be Yeah, I'm gonna just copy paste it like that, and then I simply rename it to TS, right? And I wonder if that, yeah, that generated a bunch of errors. And let's open the file itself. So I'm gonna enable flight check. I should probably enable flight check automatically. So, and here probably I want to actually explicitly say that it's a string, but I mean, it's going to infer it anyway. But again, I have a PTSD from, you know, total inference of everything. So here we accept a string, and here we accept children. And this is actually rather interesting. So children could be of one of the types, string or a node. All right, this one is actually very interesting. So append child. If I take a look at the create elements, it returns HTML element. So maybe children is going to be essentially string or HTML element, right? Or I mean, come on, HTML element, and it's going to be array of those things. There we go, and we can quite easily just check all of that. All right, that's pretty much it. And in here, what do we have? That does not exist. This one is very interesting. How can I add a new property to the HTML element? How can I add a new property to the HTML element? All right, so I'm gonna just ignore it for now. Yeah, so this framework is not particularly safe, right? Type safe. So maybe I'll actually have to. Not really sure how to migrate this entire stuff yet, but we'll see, we'll see. So this entire thing is going to be string, string that, tag name of this stuff, and window. Okay, so what it complains about? Any type. Is that because I have to make it like an array of this entire stuff? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, element implicitly has any type because index expression is not a type of number. Is not a type of number. This one, yeah. So this one is going to be rather complicated to port very easily. So maybe I should not even attempt it right now. Right, because it relies a lot on dynamic stuff and whatnot. But I mean, the only file that we need to migrate is the index.js, and that uses this framework. So maybe we'll have to refactor this framework somehow, but I'm not 100% sure. So also, what's the set attribute? Set attribute accepts 2 strings in here, so I might as well actually do something like this. Right, so it's gonna be like that. TypeScript add attribute, new attribute to an object. How, like, to allow this kind of stuff? How do I automatically assign properties to an object? Yeah, in TypeScript. It is possible to denote object as any, but that defeats the whole purpose of using TypeScript. I mean, I know that, but yeah, and if I just say that it's any, it should be fine, right? So can I just say that this thing is any, right? And that will kind of work, right? So like it has type safety to some extent, right? But to this kind of stuff, the type safety is gone. So which is okay. So I will figure out how to make it a little bit more type safe a little bit later. We got a sub from 746C62. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. All right, so this callback is essentially, I don't even know. So if I take a look at the onClick, oh, I cannot even go to the onClick. All right, so I probably have to first do this thing, and only then I will be able to go to onClick, and that's basically the callback that I'm trying to assign in here. I wonder if, so this is HTML, it's a global event handler. I wonder if I can take global event handler, right? So here's a global event handler, like this, and then I can take onClick and then say, can I just use a type of this thing? Is it even possible for me to do? Only refers to a type, but is being used as a value in here. Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of... Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, you cannot do that easily, but one of the things I want to do, I want to at least denote that we're expecting this kind of callback in here. Right, and again, this kind of thing is going to be any, and we're just assigning everything in here. Okay, so everything looks okay. I'm still don't fully understand why this stuff doesn't really want to cooperate. Probably because, yeah, the window is not particularly any. Right, window has to be like any. Right. Can I just say as any? Right, as any, and just do it like that. And okay, that's cool. So in here, what do we do? Rest parameters children implicitly has any type. Oh yeah, and the type has to be this thing, right? The type has to be this thing. Is it gonna work? No, it still doesn't work. Oh yeah, because it has to be array. That's right. Is it gonna work? Yo, it works. My God. Holy shit. It fucking works, man. It fucking works. So I'm thinking, how can I prettify this entire stuff, or whether I need to prettify it. I don't think so. So I kind of feel like I want to extract this type to a separate thing. Type like child. Child could be either string or HTML element. You know what I'm talking about? So in here you have an array of children, right? So in that way I can just say child array of children. I think it's pretty good. So when I have image in here, I accept string in here like this. Okay, that's pretty cool. And tag. Well, the thing about tag is that it returns any, unfortunately. I'm gonna put it to do in here. To do. Make tag more type safe. Essentially, get rid of the any, right? Get rid of the any. Okay. So here is the type, and the type in here has to be a string as far as I can tell. Yeah, there we go. Routes. Okay, this one is interesting. Routes are expected, yeah, they're expected to actually have a particular type in here. Right, if you take a look at the example, where is the example? Oh, shit. Okay, so the example is located in Glacier.js. Example HTML. Right. So yeah, it's basically an object that is indexed by routes, and it indexed into, like, in the value are the tags. Okay, so I have an idea. Even though we're not particularly type safe, we can at least have a type for a tag. You know what I'm talking about? So we're just going to return a tag, right? We know that it's any, but we can at least document the types. We can at least document the types. So, and in here, how often do we use any? Any. Okay. So, and you know what? I think I'm gonna actually put this entire thing above tag, because that's the relevant place. And here we return any, but I think we have to return the tag, even though it's still any, right? This one is not related to the tag, but it's still any. Okay, this one is fine. And routes is basically, yeah, it's going to be routes. And routes is going to be an interface that is indexable by a route, which is a string, and returns effectively a tag, right? So, and then, okay, div. Oh shit, this thing is supposed to return something. I suppose it's supposed to return a tag, but it didn't really properly return the tag. I'm not quite sure why. This thing has to return like tag as well. I'm not sure why this thing complains. Cannot find shit. Fuck. Damn. Bitch, motherfucker. So the problem here is that all of these tags are created through this process, through the dynamic process. So yeah, it's kind of convenient when you're using JavaScript, but when you start using TypeScript, I guess we need to have shit ton of copy paste then, and that kind of ruins our small 69 lines of framework. But I mean, it's already ruined, so it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. Yeah. I don't know. Can we automatically generate this kind of stuff? So I might as well take these tags and just do something like this. So we're gonna just select all of this, and then there we go. Can we use a little bit of Emacs magic? Just a little bit. Look, so this is gonna be a function that accepts children, right? So it's gonna be children, which is array of child, right? And this entire thing just returns a tag type. Right, and what we're returning in here, we're just returning a tag, right, which is this thing, right, like this, and then we spread the children like this, and then I'm gonna close the entire function, and there we go. Can your Vim do that? I don't think so, mate. I don't fucking think so. So, is it going to compile now? I think it compiles now. Yeah, so as you can see, all of the errors are basically resolved. All of them are resolved. And everything seems to be compiling. All right, so it's more or less type safe, right? Minus the tag being any. But that's the beauty of TypeScript. So it allows you to sort of migrate slowly to TypeScript. It doesn't force like full type checking on you. You can just say, okay, we don't know how to express that in TypeScript yet. Just forget about that part. So that's the beauty of it. I really like it. But whatever you can express, you can rely on. All right, so if I want to introduce like a compilation error just to see if everything works the way I expect it to work. Okay, that is totally fine. That is totally fine. Okay, so let's take a look at the what got generated. So let's take a look at Greater.js, and this is what we got generated. Okay. So as I already mentioned, we're targeting ES5, so that should work in Internet Explorer 11, because it's very important to support Internet Explorer 11 in 2021. That's a very important browser. A lot of people still use this browser. Cheers. Alrighty. Let's do a committee. We need to check if the if the code works in the browser, right? That's what we need to check. 69. So I'm gonna open this thing in here. I don't see any problems. Well, except the debug output in the console, which we introduced in eval. I think I need to remove that. That's kind of dumb. Hopefully that didn't break anything. And in the source code, I want to open the Greater.js, and this is the generated code. Yes, this is the generated code. Nice. Everything seems to be working, right? So I can just select something. By the way, guys, do you have any emotes from other streamers? Any subscribe emotes from any other streamers that you watch? Spam them in the chat. Spam them in the chat. We're gonna test them actually. Okay, Squad Cozy. Okay, I'm gonna just copy paste this one. Thank you so much. Wait a second. You're watching some other streamers except me? What the fuck? Mods? Ban anyone who uses other emotes. Squad Cozy PNG. All right. So, and then this is what we can do. Yep. That's how it works. So you can have laughing. You can also have hard. And then you can render this entire thing. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So everything seems to be working. New post. So everything is working. Okay, thank you so much for testing. And of course, you can use this kind of stuff yourself. You can find this website deployed in here if you're interested. So I just wanted to test this kind of thing. All right. All right. So I think we're ready to do a committee and maybe even a pushy. Remove redundant debug output, right? Wait a fucking second. All right, and there's also, I should have actually, okay, I committed it simultaneously, right. It was removed from both of the places. Okay, that's cool. So, migrate JS to TypeScript. All right, so I think we migrated all of the easy targets. So the only one that is left is the main application. So JS index. I think this is the biggest file so far. It's 500 lines of code. And it relies also on Webgl. And I'm not even sure if Webgl stuff is even easy to use in there. So there are different like canvas things. Okay, so Webgl canvas type. Yeah, usually Webgl canvas, like the canvas context, they have a separate specific type. So maybe Webgl stuff is available in the DOM. All right, so in any case, let's actually try to copy-paste index to TypeScript folder and see how it's gonna go. Right, so it's gonna be something like this, and I'm gonna just rename it to TS, and there we go. I'm gonna enable fly check, and let's observe how many errors we've got. We've got quite a few errors. Okay, so here we have different types. So JL, oh boy. So HTML canvas element, HTML canvas element. So this is the type that we have in here. What I want to try to do is I want to define a variable that has the type HTML canvas element, and we want to jump it. Okay, here it is. This is the HTML canvas, and you can get the context, right, which is Webgl, and what we're accepting in here, we're accepting Webgl rendering context. Okay, we have all of the necessary shit. That's perfect. So I can now just say that JL is supposed to be simply that, right? Webgl rendering context, right? And that fixed the problem. Source is going to be a string, and the shader type, it depends what is vertex. GL in num. Okay, so I can easily say that this thing is going to be GL in num. But the question is, where can I get it? Okay, that's kind of funny that you can just use GL in num, and it's, yeah, it's part of the DOM. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, so what else do we have in here? This is the shader, but to be fair, what is it complaining about? Oh shit, okay, this one is very interesting. So create shader may return null, and you're supposed to check for that. Can we just do console assert shader not equal null, and is that enough? Or do we have to like really check for that? I mean, we can do something like this. If shader equal null, we're gonna just throw a new error saying something like could not create a new shader. There we go. And that fixed the problem. So anything else? Okay, so everything seems to be going quite well. All right, so yeah, maybe we will manage to actually, you know, port the entire source code within today's session. This is actually quite good. So Webgl rendering context. All right, so we accept a bunch of shaders. Oh, by the way, I forgot to actually say that here we have to return something. So create shader returns Webgl shader. All right. Webgl shader. Right. Does it create any problems? Okay. So in here is the list of Webgl shaders. All right. And we also accept vertex attributes. Where do we have vertex attributes? Okay, so here is this stuff, and the vertex attributes is, let's actually make it an interface. It's going to be vertex attributes, and this thing is indexable by name and returns a number. Right, so this is a vertex attributes. What the fuck? What the fuck? Sorry. Vertex attrib. Emacs, what the fuck is wrong with you? So now this thing returns. Oh yeah, we need to probably check that program. Yeah, it may return null. You see? So we need to check if program equal null. We have to throw an error. Throw new error. Could not create a new shader program. Right, so there's a distinction between shader and shader program, because shader could be of different kinds, like vertex shader or fragment shader, and then you link them into a single shader program. Right? Okay, do we have anything else in here? So this thing should probably return Webgl program. There we go. Anything else? Okay, so Webgl rendering context, and okay, this one is interesting. We accept an image, and then we pass that image to the text image to D. So text image source. Okay, so that means we need to make this text image source, and text image source could be HTML image element. Okay, that's actually perfect. So I can accept this kind of shit here as well. All right. So do we have anything else? All right. Webgl rendering context, and now here we accept a filter, and we defined what is a filter at the beginning of the string. So we have this interface. That's perfect. So we're starting to use interfaces, like the parts of the program starts to interconnect with each other. Right, so we have a filter, filters are defined in here, and now we have a part that cares about the definition of a filter, so we can just apply filter in here. And also here we have a vertex attributes. Everything is coming together very nicely. Okay. Emacs is a piece of poo-poo. That's my opinion on Emacs. Alright, so it loads this entire thing. Oh, and it also should return something. I think it should return texture. Right, so we have to return Webgl texture. I forgot to return it in here. And here is the problem. Right, it may fail. So if I take a look at this thing, you see it can return null. If texture ID is null, throw new error. Could not create a new GL, let's put it this way, Webgl texture. All right, anything else? Okay. Oh shit, okay, so everything is just working correctly, surprisingly. But I think load filter program should return something. Yeah, it returns different things, and we need to have a definition for this shit. Yes. This one is very interesting. So this is a compiled filter, right? So you provide a filter, and this thing returns a loaded filter, right? Because you need to compile the shaders, you need to compile the duration expression, you need to check everything, generate the DOM and whatnot. So that's why this entire thing is sort of like a different thing, compiled filter, right? And in the compiled filter, we have an ID, and I don't remember what the fuck is ID, to be fair. ID is link shader. Oh, it's actually Webgl program for some reason. Yeah, I don't remember why I called it ID. Yeah, I think it's a historical reasons. Right. Yeah, but when the program was smaller, I probably, yeah, I see what's going on here. It's even called like a load filter program. But once we switch to TypeScript, refactoring all of that should be a little bit easier, right? I will just follow the compilation errors and I won't have to worry about anything, right? So in here, by the way, I think I have to return compiled filter, right? So here's the compiled filter. So now we have another thing, which is uniforms, right? So a bunch of uniforms. And a bunch of uniforms is essentially, all right, it's an interface, right, which is indexable by a name, right, and returns you uniform locations, right? So here is the Webgl uniform location. So here are the uniforms. Okay, so on top of that we have a duration, and duration is a compiled expression, right? So it's basically interface export, it's this thing. So again, we're starting to reuse all of the types that we defined at the beginning of the stream. Isn't it cool? I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so it's going to be index.ts, and it's going to be an expression. Then transparent, it depends on what type it is. I think it's a number, right? So it has to be number, or it could be also null, I think. Yeah, it could be. Well, let's keep it as a number. And then we also have Param's Panel, and Param's Panel is the tag. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like how in this central program we are reusing all of the types that we defined before. That's actually pretty cool. I really like that. Okay, here is the definition of a compiled filter. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of the program in here. Param's input. What is a Param's input? I don't even know what it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like value input. What is a value input? Oh, I see. It's a bunch of tags. I see. It's actually something that is indexed by a name, and it returns you a tag. That's basically what it is. Okay, label, program name. And it complains about what? It complains about not knowing string or undefined. So program name could be undefined. Why it could be undefined? Excuse me? Oh, label could be undefined. Oh, this is actually quite cool. Right. So because label here is completely optional, you see? It is optional. So that's why you have to sort of check if it's available or not. But I actually check for it, don't I? Is not equal to undefined. So I know for a fact that this thing is not equal to undefined, and it still cannot assign to string. So the type of this thing is a string. We know that 100%, right? And just by checking this thing is not enough, right? TypeScript check if variable undefined. I think we have to do something like type of, how to check undefined in TypeScript. Should be fine. I don't know why it complains, seriously, because here's the thing, if it's not equal undefined, okay, maybe I can do something like this, right? So I can just try to use that, otherwise that. Is that a good way to do that? I think it is, and because of that I can just actually do a constant here. Is that better? Right, so double question mark, TypeScript double question mark operator. Double question marks in TypeScript. Since we're using preprocessor, we can just use the latest features and stuff like that. Double question marks. Nullish coercing. Oh yeah, it's just the alternative to nullish coercing. All right, so it's that or that. That's perfect, and it seems to be working fine. All right, so what's going to be the next thing? A uniform. So what's wrong in here? Element implicitly has any. Okay, let me take a look at this. All right, I suppose we need to actually explicitly say that it's a bunch of uniforms. So I'm going to create a new interface in here. So it's going to be interface uniforms. And it's going to be just basically indexable by that. Uniforms, there we go. And in here, I can just say that this thing is uniforms. Are you going to be happy now? So it doesn't like something, I'm not sure. Webgl or no. Okay, this one is interesting. I guess we should allow those things to be nulls. I think. Yeah, we should allow them to be nulls because they're not always going to be like, you know, correct. Okay, that's fine. Anything else? Okay, snapshot. Snapshot is actually a rather interesting thing. We don't really know what it is, right? Snapshot is essentially, I see, interface, snapshot, snapshot. I cannot type. It has two things. It has a uniform, which is a Webgl uniform location, or null. Of course, it could be missing, I think. Yeah, I think it could be missing. And the actual value. And value is could be number. Right. And it depends on what is a parameter input. Parameter input could be a tag. Could be number or maybe null. We'll see actually. Because I don't quite remember. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this. So I need to move this entire thing a little bit closer to here, right? So this is the snapshot, right? This is the snapshot. And in here, I have a snapshot. Oh, this has to be an object that is indexed by a name. Okay. Name string, and it returns this stuff. There we go. I think that's how it has to be. Snapshot. Snapshot. And is it fine now? Okay. So transparent is not happy because number or null. Okay, filter could return transparent, so we still need to keep it null potentially. So all right, so let's actually keep it null. Anything else we have in here? Cool. Now we're creating image selector. So this entire thing, oh, I forgot to actually say that those things may return tags, right? So this is going to be a tag, this is going to be a tag, tagger, not tagger, but tag. And let's go back to index.ts. Are you happy now? Are you happy? No, it is not happy. It doesn't seem to be happy. Expecting one argument but got 0. Oh, really? Oh, because I'm setting. Okay, I see. All right. So apparently we had a bug in there. Yeah, we had a bug in there. You're supposed to provide the input, the type for the input, but we never provided it. We set the type through the attribute thing. Okay, TypeScript found yet another bug. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty fucking cool, mate. All right, what else do we have in here? Remove file name extension. Okay, I'm getting really tired already, so I really apologize for for my mistakes. Okay, so here's the bunch of files, and it depends what is the files though. It also depends on what is image input. Image input is an input. This one is interesting. It's the files that are returned by HTML input. Okay, so let me take a look at the HTML input. HTML input element, right? And does it have files? Yeah, file list. It's a file list. There we go. It's a file list. All right. So that means here I can say something like file list. There we go. Is it happy now? All right. So image data, image preview is an image. Yeah, so that means I have to actually cast this entire thing to HTML image element, right? Because I know for a fact that it is an image element. This implicitly has type any because it doesn't have any type annotation, and that's precisely why I did this thing. Cast it to the HTML image, and it doesn't want to do that. It just doesn't want to do that. I don't know why, to be fair. I don't know why. Let's make a small break, and after the break we're gonna figure out what the hell is going on in here. All right, so let me see. Some people in the chat actually suggested to do something like this. This HTML, I forgot what it is, image element, yeah, and it worked. Thank you, random user from the chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It actually worked. My God. So, and in here, we're also going to actually do the same thing. This HTML image element. Okay, that's perfect. So what do we have in here? We have event listener, and we don't know what is E. Implicitly has type any, and this is because the root implicitly has type any. But I know for a fact that it is select element, right? So it's a select element, and because of that, E, do I really have to like sort of so will event JavaScript mouse wheel event. What is a mouse wheel event? So how is it usually called? So it's called mouse wheel, right? Yeah, it's literally called mouse wheel event. All right. So maybe I can do something like this. Mouse wheel event. And if I take a look at this, yeah, it's a wheel event. It's actually, okay, it's very interesting. And it complains, is deprecated. Okay, so we have to call it a wheel event. Okay, that's cool. Anything else? All right, emote image. So emote image, if I understand correctly, has to be an HTML image file, right? Image element, or undefined. So this entire thing could be also undefined. Emote texture is Webgl texture or undefined. And the program, if I understand correctly, has to be compiled filter or undefined, right? Compiled filter or undefined. So I guess that is pretty much it. New emote image has to be HTML image element, right? So that looks all right. This is a filter changed. Oh shit, we're using custom events in here. So okay, can I just say any? Will that work for now? Okay, so this is a file name. This is going to be a string. GIF. All right, this one is interesting. We're starting to actually hit third-party dependencies. And one of the third-party dependencies we have in here is GIF. I wonder if I can just install some typings for the GIF.js. Let's actually see. npm install save dev. Let me go to the npm. It's probably going to be a huge pain in the ass, but we'll see how we can do that. GIF.js. So it's going to be types GIF.js. I think that should work. Unfortunately, I don't really like third-party dependencies like this, but maybe. Did you mean GIF? Maybe I meant GIF. Oh, right. Okay, so I cannot use... Huh, that's really strange. So what if I put T in here? It probably creates... All right, wait a second. Why do I have a var in here? Oh, this is because I copy pasted it. Okay. Transparent program transparent. Wait, the program cannot be... Okay, it can be transparent, but this has become transparent, has to be a string. Okay. All right, so transparent here is defined as a string or null, but in our code, in the filters somewhere here, let me see, we defined transparent as number. So I suppose we need to define it as string. It's actually kind of strange. If JS, let me go there. GIF JS transparent equal green. This is so sus. So it gets converted to what it gets converted to. Excuse me. I think we need to look into the source code to understand what it gets converted to. Transparent null option transparent. Yeah, it's a coffee script. It's a goddamn coffee script. So I don't even know. Okay, let's actually make it string and see if it's gonna get broken, because I don't fucking know. All right, I made it string. And how many problems I have in here? So is it still complaining? I need to run TSC. And it is trying to compile shite. So here's the program. Possibly undefined. Oh, the program itself is possibly undefined. Okay, that's very interesting. So this thing found a bug, right? This entire thing found a bug. So at this point, program potentially can be undefined. So I don't know what exactly we can do in this particular case. But we can just basically try to do that only if it's defined, right? If a program is equal undefined, we can throw a new error saying something like, because I want to catch that moment. I want to catch that moment and do something about it. But to be fair, if the program... Okay, we're actually asserting if the program is defined. Okay, that's actually very interesting. Maybe we don't even need to assert, right? So essentially, if the program is not defined, just like straight up don't do anything. You know what? I'm gonna do console warn. Is there a, like a warn? Yeah, warning. Could not render anything because the filter was not selected. I'm not sure if it's worth showing that to the user. So I'm just not gonna show it to the user. Okay, so here's the transparent. Number or null is not assignable to string or null, but I already fixed that, so I need to restart the server and okay, I need to reopen it. Sometimes Emacs is incapable of like properly showing everything. Okay, so now yeah, I need to fix these kind of things. So every transparent now needs to be a string for some fucking reason, but I'm not even sure if you convert something like 0x 00ff00 to string, what's gonna happen? Okay, so we have to be a little bit more careful in this particular case. So is there any way to... So JavaScript does not allow you to do this kind of thing. Okay, so let's just do it like this. Because I'm not 100% sure, but I would expect... I really need to look into the source code of GIF.js. I really need to look into it to know what exactly they're doing with this thing. Yeah, I need to look at it because I might be actually doing something wrong. This is very important. The problem here is that transparent is just null, and they just reassign it to the frame. And what the hell is frame? Frame is something that you give it. Okay, so one thing we can do in here, we can just look for transparent. Right, look for transparent. Set transparent. Nice one. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to do that. Maybe it's gonna work at some point. So fucking bad. CoffeeScript, am I right? All right. So what's next? Fly check. All right. Okay, transparent. Filter transparent. Yeah. To be fair, or null. What does it mean? So, number or null? So in the compiler, okay, so I forgot to put this string, right. I think or null is an optional one, but optional one is type or undefined. Right, it's type or undefined. Okay, so here we have a context. I know for a fact that this is a user context, so user context, I don't have to worry about this kind of shit. So in the context, object is possibly undefined. What the fuck are you talking about? Excuse me? I just defined it in here. Oh yeah, I see. Well, yeah, I see what's going on. Which object is possibly undefined? Okay, if context is equal to undefined, vars can be possibly undefined. So maybe I have to do like both of these things, but I actually defined them, didn't I? Can I do things like that? Okay, I can. Okay, that's perfect. So should be fine. And value in here. Wait, what? It couldn't parse that. Okay. All right. I just want to add all of these things in there. The context is defined, and if context vars, you know, oh, I think I have an idea. If context vars not equal to undefined, oh my god. Okay, nice. Frame count. So what is it complaining about? Is declared, but its value is never read. Really? Oh yeah, it's a dead one, I suppose. Render preview. So what's wrong with these two things? Possibly null. Okay. This one is very interesting. So maybe if the render preview is equal to null, we have to throw an error. Throw. You know what? In this case, we can. Yeah, I think we need to throw an error. If render preview is equal to null, it's going to be throw new error. Could not find render preview. There we go. And similarly, we need to check for the spinner, render spinner, and to be fair, we need to check the similar thing for the progress, right? So this is going to be the progress. Progress. So we're just looking for all of these elements, and if we can't find them, we throw in an error, right? Because without these elements, the application cannot function properly. Okay, so what are the next problems? Emote gem, emote image, possibly undefined. So where do we have here? Okay, this one is interesting. So, all right, so during the rendering, all right, so this is quite important. If emote image is undefined, this is a straight up warning, right? Could not render anything because the image was not selected. This should never happen, and if it happens, it's kind of sus. Okay, so render preview src. So src does not exist. Okay, so because the render preview is actually an image, so maybe we have to do something like as HTML image element, right? Render download has to be it's an input, right? It's an HTML input thingy. Render download. So let me take a look at the index HTML. Render download, and it's a A. All right, as HTML A. How is that called? Anchor. Okay. Anchor element. Href. Okay. Hyperlink elements that provide special properties beyond those HTML anchor element. Thank you, random viewer in the chat. I really appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. For some reason it never occurred to me that they're called anchor elements, and that's why they have. That's why they're called A. Okay. I don't know why that never occurred to me, but okay. So thank you so much. All right. So let me see. Because when people say anchor in the context of web development, I actually imagine the thing after the hash. I don't know why. Maybe it's actually wrong to assume that. Okay, so what's going to be the next thing? So we have a start, which is effectively number or undefined, right? And in here, timestamp is a number, right? So, okay, so we have a DT in here, and apparently DT is declared but never used. This is because we're inside of the rendering. Yeah, so maybe that's why you don't need DT. Yeah, we just never use that, apparently. That's really strange. Why we never use that? Huh. But how do we do animations then? Right, so if, for instance, we have like a time, and then we update the time, right? Gel uniform 1f, and we set the time, and time is part of the duration, and another place where we set the time is, okay, we never use DT directly, apparently. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay, function declarations are not allowed inside blocks in strict mode when targeting ES3. Really? Are you fucking serious? Fuck you. Alright, so in any case, I think I need to get rid of this thing, at least for now. And All right, so there's a couple of things that we still need to fix. So I want to do that. Function declarations, function declarations. So we have two instances of the step, but yeah. We need to somehow, I'm already really tired, so let me make a small break. And we're almost done, by the way. There is like a few errors that we need to fix, and I'm almost done, and I'm really, really tired. So just a second, a small break. Okay, so I think the entire thing with like start is completely redundant. We can just remove all of that and just use the timestamp, right? Timestamp, and that simplifies everything dramatically. And excuse me, on top of that, we can probably put that step function. What are you doing, step function? Oh. Outside somewhere here, right? Like that. And after that, we're just starting the rendering loop. All right. Image selected. This one is a little bit painful. But here, specifically, we're kind of expecting like a custom event. I think that's what we're expecting. Okay, that was totally fine. And filter entry can be, if I understand correctly, cannot find name. Filter selector entry. Oh, I see. This is because it's yeah, filter select. Yeah, I'm just using this as an ID, which is probably not a great practice in general. So maybe we're gonna actually do something like this. So it's gonna be like that, and then like that, and we're gonna specifically query for those things. Right, something like this. Filter selector. Selector entry. Emacs is very annoying. Selector entry, and it's going to be something like document get element by ID filter selector entry, right? And this one is going to be image selector entry. And on top of that, we also need to check if filter selector entry is equal to null, right? We have to throw a new error. Could not find filter selector entry, like this. The same goes for this thing, but we are replacing filter with image. There we go. Is it happy now? Is it happy? It's almost happy, by the way. Render button. So, and of course, if we couldn't find the render button, new, okay, so this is going to be something like this. Could not find. Why are we doing it like that? Because I can just get element by ID, and the ID is render, right? So that should be fine. Yeah, could not find render, right? So we just need to throw at least something. Okay, so here we're getting GIF, and GIF is initially undefined. And why do we keep it like that? Why do we even care? I guess I know why do we care, because when we create new GIF, right? So this is the so the render is supposed to return, right? It returns the GIF, right? So it returns the GIF. Does that create any problems? Okay. Okay. So it may return GIF or undefined. Or undefined. In that case, we can just can return undefined. Event data transfer. So this event has to be something like drop event. JavaScript file drop event or something. Drag and drop event. So how is that called? How is that thing called? I don't remember. So event, drop event. Okay, JavaScript drop event. How is it called? Drop event. The name. Tell me the name of this shit. Drag event. Is it just drag or drop event? Is there such thing as a drop event? So there is a drag event. Cool. That's actually really strange. Okay, so we're gonna assume that it's a drag event, which is okay, which is fine. Drag event. I might as well actually look at, yeah. Okay, both of them are drag events. All right. I don't know. You see, I'm already getting tired. So it's kind of like this. And event here. What's wrong with event? Possibly null. Why is it possibly null? I don't quite get it. Because in here, right, it accepts that global event handler or null. So event data transfer could be possibly null. Okay, I see. Data transfer could be possibly null. If event data transfer, might as well actually do something like this, right? Yeah, there we go. Anything else? All right, cool. This thing is a GIF or undefined. Right, GIF, and this thing is running. Running does not exist. Are you fucking serious? These typings are shit. My god. Seriously. It doesn't even have a... They're so outdated. So first of all, transparent is completely wrong. Apparently nobody bothered to extend them. Okay, so we'll probably have to at some point like fix the typing for the GIFs. And yeah, can I just say that we're gonna return any? It's gonna be any or undefined. Yeah, let's just do any essentially. So this is a render, and here it's gonna be any or undefined, whatever. And this entire thing, as far as you can tell, must compile, right? So it does in fact compile. Please tell me that it compiles. No, it doesn't compile. It fails somewhere in other places, but I can't find these places. Okay, so there's a couple of places that we have to do here. So step, step needs JL. Step needs JL. Can I pass JL in here like this? Webgl rendering context. Webgl rendering context. Okay, so in the it needs to be in the context there. It's just like it requires too much context. Like, come on. It just requires too much context. This is really, really bad. But maybe it's not about... I can probably make it a lambda of some sort, right? So let's make it a lambda. So step, and this is basically what I want to do in here. So this is going to be something like that. Right. So, and I can just do const step function. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Okay, so I don't have to pass this thing now. Alright, so I think this mother flipper is happy. Okay! It compiled. Holy shit. Ooh, alright. So that's pretty cool. And if I take a look at the JS, index.js in here, does it look like a compiled? Okay, so it does in fact look like a compiled one. And you know what they say, chat? You know what they say? If it compiles, it works. Oh, let's check it out. All right, seems to be working so far. And let me see. So if I take a look at the index.js, here is the generated JS, and I'm going to try to render this entire thing, and it seems to be working. So I can actually even you know, abort the rendering, and everything looks okay. So we successfully ported the index, right? Index.ts. All right. So let me do a committee. Migrate index JS to TypeScript. So one thing we'll have to do here, by the way, it's quite important. It is in fact quite important. Give JS typings are absolutely literally broken. So let's try to fix them and submit them to definitely typed. Right, so it is indefinitely typed if I remember correctly, right? So give JS, let me see who's responsible. I think it's definitely typed. Yeah, it's definitely typed. So do they still accept pull requests? Oh my god, look at this pull request, 207 pull. Do they even? Oh my god. This is why I don't like third-party dependencies. This is why. Okay, so there is a little bit of discussion in there. Maybe at this point it's gonna be 25 forks. People just fucking fork that and fix it themselves. I guess for us the easiest fix is gonna be just like copy the definition file to our project and just fix everything there, because the give.js interface is so simple, we don't really need to depend on this entire extravaganza, right? Well, it's like it's a fucking single file. How more complicated can you make depending on a single goddamn text file? Dependency on a single goddamn text file. We can just copy paste that file and don't worry about it ever. So, and that's precisely what we're gonna do, but in the future. I'm gonna just put the to-do in here, and yeah. Okay, so this one is actually interesting. We have to be really careful when we are reporting to-dos, because this thing duplicates comments. Can I advise TypeScript to remove the comments? Yeah. That's perfect. Can you please do that? Okay, so if I do to-do, perfect. It basically excluded comments. I really like that. That's goddamn fucking perfect. So if I go here, and there's no single to do in here, so they're not gonna collide with each other. Nice. All right. Okay. Remove comments from JS and add additional to do. Right, I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So also I think I need to add another to do in here. To do run TypeScript compiler on CI. Right. More to do. And I'm going to push that right into the repo. All right, let's create the pull request. Let's create the pull request. Add additional addictive to do. Yeah. TypeScript. All right, and also let's snitch up all of the to-dos. For those who doesn't know, snitch is a special tool that I constantly use for basically collecting all of the to-dos in my source code and reporting them as issues. Snitch the to-do collector. Right, and it's actually rather convenient. I really recommend to check it out. And the way it works, by the way, you just do snitch report prepend body. So it will basically append additional information to the body of the issue. And the information that I want to append like where it was introduced. It was introduced in the issue 72, right? And then you can run this entire thing, right? And basically go through all of the to-dos and asks, do you want to report that? Make tag Morse type safe. Yes, I do want to report that. Give.js typings are absolutely broken. I do want to report that. Run TypeScript compiler on CI. I do want to report that. And what it does, it uses GitHub API and reports all of them to the GitHub issue tracker. Right. So, and here are all of the to-dos that we basically put in the source code. So now they are issues, and I can then go back to them by just looking through the issue tracker, and it's rather convenient. It's rather convenient. So let me double check that everything works correctly. One of the things I want to check the parameter feature. Right, and parameter feature is broken. Nice. So we broke something while migrating things. Filter selector entry is not defined. That's really strange. Filter selector, it's literally didn't return anything. So okay, feature parameters are broken now, but it works without feature parameters at least. Oh, it doesn't even work with the feature parameters. I see. It was basically a cache. Okay, int entry is not defined. I wonder why. Oh, now it works. It's a combination of caches and some other problems. Web. Fucking web. Alright, so what's wrong in here? So here's the image selector entry, filter selector entry, and it's actually put it in like wrong orders and whatnot. It's actually smashed everything together. Why is it defined like that? I have no idea. So, the fuck? It's supposed to be defined like this, but it's actually... I probably confused something, alright? So I probably confused something. Let me quickly do that. Yeah, I actually did the double thing. You know, this is what you get when you copy-paste the code, right? So don't copy-paste your code, kids. Don't copy-paste your code. Okay, now it works. And if I enable the feature params, they're still working. I can update them. I can change these kind of things, and I can render all of that stuff, right? Can I render all of that stuff? And I can download all of that stuff. Everything is working. So let's actually do a committee for the fix. All right. Fix initialization of the project. All right. Boom. Okay. So I think everything's okay, and we can more or less safely merge this entire thing. So if you find any bugs due to conversion to a TypeScript, please let me know in the issue tracker. And yeah, I guess that's it for today, boys and girls. That's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you all tomorrow. I don't know what we're gonna be doing tomorrow, but we'll see. Maybe something interesting, maybe something not. And yeah, so nothing much to say. Thanks for all of the subscriptions, thanks for all of the donations, even though nobody donated today, but I still appreciate that you didn't make any donations. And I gotta go. Thanks everyone. Love you all. Mwah.